Gumamit na ng air assets at nagsasagawa ng surgical airstrikes ang tropa ng militar sa Marawi City sa ilang tiyak na pinagtataguan ng mga miyembro ng Maute Group. Ito ang balita ni Dante Amento.
Kitang-kita sa video na ito ang isang motorcycle rider na may angkas na matanda na may mga itinuturo sa mga militar sa isang lugar sa Marawi City. Matapos na makalagpas ang sibilyang nakamotorsiklo ay nagsimula ng magpaputok ang mga kawani ng militar. Ngayong araw ay nagsagawa na ng surgical airstrikes ang tropa ng pamahalaan sa ilang barangay sa lugar.
Surgical airstrike, specific yung lugar. Dapat hindi mag-miss dahil pag mag-miss mayroong collateral damage. Isa yun sa mga dapat sinusunod pag surgical airstrikes.
Pinaniniwalaang hindi bababa sa 50 Maute members ang tinutugis pa ng AFP. Payo ng militar sa mga residente na hanggat maaari ay umalis o lumayo sa lugar. Samantala, patuloy naman ang paglikas ng mga residente sa Marawi patungo sa mga kalapit na lugar gaya ng Iligan, Cagayan de Oro at Davao City. Ngunit sa kabila nito, pahirapan para sa kanila ang paglikas dahil wala ng mga pampasaherong sasakyan ang dumadaan dahil din sa takot na madamay sa labanan.
Gusto sana namin, sir, na may tumulong sa amin para ma-transfer kami ng ibang lugar. Para makaluwas kami dito. Kasi dito, sir, grabe, sir, para na kaming mababaliw.
Maraming ISIS sa labas ng pintuan na ng bahay namin. Hindi na namin kaya. Tsaka kailangan masave itong mga bata.
Apektado na rin ang kabuhayan ng mga residente sa lungsod sa dami ng nagsilikas.
100% patay na ang negosyo. Kita mo naman. Sino naman ang gagasolina? Wala. Mahirap na magbukas din. Baka mamaya iba ang maggagasolina. Imbis na magbabayad, wala pa. Mahirap na.
Samantala, sa kabila ng patuloy na kaguluhan, may ilan pa ring residente na piniling manatili sa kanilang lugar.
Hindi kami nagbabakwit. Kaya kasi kung darating ang kamatayan namin na galing kay Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hindi namin mapipigilan.
Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue, Western Mindanao Command.
A revival of the death penalty in the country, Lala Babilonia reports.
Archbishop Oscar Cruz expressed his support on the Duterte administration's war against illegal drugs. Cruz said President Rodrigo Duterte is more committed on eliminating the alarming drug menace in the country compared to the past administration.
In fact, the past administration to me was a big liability. And that's why I said, how come the drug has become this extensive when the previous administration has not done anything about it?
Cruz added that the current administration seems to be fixing the errors of the past leadership. Despite that, he remained firm on his stand against death penalty.
Killing is not justifiable per se for whatever reason, even the death penalty, no? There's no exception except self-defense theory.
Moreover, Cruz is confident that Duterte will not be involved in any kind of graft and corruption.
But one of the sterling merits of this present administration is that the graft and corrupt practices has not yet seeped in to the government. Unlike before, graft and corrupt practices were incarnate.
For PTV News, Lala Babilonia.
Each and every day, a policeman somewhere in the nation or mega city makes that decision to squander his honor and shirk his duty by going rogue and rotten and choosing a life of crime. Conversely, there are cops who still choose to carry out their duties they swore to uphold at all times, to serve and protect and to fight and bring the agents of crime to the bar of the law. One such shining example laid down his life in trying to round up drug pushers / ninja cops in a community not far from the People's Palace in this report from Pauline Requesto.
A simple and honest police officer. This is how Luzvina Alvarez describes her cousin SPO2 Marlon Lebrilla.
Parehas siya magtrabaho bilang pulis. Hindi siya yung ibang pulis na maraming sideline. Siya sahod-sahod lang talagang inaasahan.
Lebrilla was killed during a drug buy-bust operation in San Miguel, Manila last week. Based on Manila Police District's spot report, Lebrilla and another cop, PO1 Medina, were shot by the drug suspect after realizing he was doing a transaction with a law enforcer. The suspect was identified as Codeng Macabato alias Verdugo, a notorious drug personality in the area. A gunfight ensued between the police and the suspect. The two police officers and Macabato were rushed to the hospital after obtaining gunshot wounds. The drug suspect was declared dead on arrival, while Medina is still confined for treatment. MPD assured that they will give assistance to the bereaved family of Lebrilla. They will also transfer Lebrilla's remains to his hometown in Sultan Kudarat. MPD is still on the lookout to capture Macabato's cohorts and other drug suspects in the country's capital.
There should be a healthy relationship between the police and the community. Magtulungan po tayo kung ano man pong mga impormasyon na pwede niyong ibigay sa amin, sa aming kapulisan, huwag po kayong matakot na tumawag sa aming mga hotline.
For PTV News, Pauline Recuesto.
The shortlist is complete. The contenders all formidable, and the competition will surely be fierce. No doubt the president will have a tough time in making up his mind when he makes his choice to fill out the soon-to-be vacated chief of staff and other key military positions in the next major turnover ceremony next month. PTV's Eunice Monte with the details.
Instead of October 26, the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Eduardo Año will retire early this June 2 to make way for his assumption as the new Secretary of the Department of Interior and Local Government. With this, the AFP has confirmed that the Board of Generals has already compiled the names of the possible officials who can succeed the military chief.
The AFP's loss is the gain for the DILG, but we are also saying that your armed forces of the Philippines will not run out of very competent, professional commanders among us na pwede at karapat-dapat ding mamuno sa ating hukbong sandatahan. At sa loob ng lalong madaling panahon, kung madesisyonan yan, we will be announcing formally kung sino ang papalit kay General Año.
According to Arevalo, there is a stiff competition for the next AFP Chief of Staff due to the qualifications of the contenders from the three-star generals in the Unified Commands and Major Services. One of the strong contenders in the post is Lieutenant General Leonardo Guerrero from Eastern Mindanao Command and is also set to retire on December. The AFP, however, has not disclosed anything yet from the list that was forwarded to the National Defense Secretary, Delfin Lorenzana, who would then endorse it to President Rodrigo Duterte. Meanwhile, Arevalo has also stressed out the contributions and the great works of the outgoing Chief of Staff who graduated as cum laude from Matikas Class 1983.
Bukod sa siya naman ay retirado na sa Armed Forces, relatively bata pa rin siya upang atin ipahinga ang isang galing, talino, kakayahan at katapatan at napatunayan na galing sa pamamahala ng isang General Año.
It can be recalled that during the closing ceremony of Balikatan 2017, Lorenzana mentioned that he tried to persuade the president to permit the AFP chief to complete or extend Año's term before assuming the DILG portfolio. But the chief executive would have none of it. For PTV News, Eunice Monte.
It was a clear gesture of saber-rattling by a military powerhouse against a small and emerging economy, trying to assert its claim on a disputed territory in the South China Sea, after an international court ruled in its favor last July. PTV's Trixie Jafar reports on a pundit's political take on China's recent statements perceived as belligerent and threatening to our sovereign claims over disputed maritime territories in the South China Sea.
The issue surrounding China's threat to wage war against the Philippines in light of the disputed West Philippine Sea continues to be a national concern as it called the attention of lawmakers and legal experts. According to attorney David Yap, a constitutional law expert, the threat of war should not be taken lightly because it is a clear violation of United Nations Charter and other international law principle.
Saber-rattling of China, threatening us that they will declare war on us if we will pursue our claims, is pure and simple violation of the United Nations Charter and also with international principles.
He added that the government should make a diplomatic protest to the United Nations and that the House and Senate should make a joint resolution to clarify the policy to be pursued in regards to the West Philippine Sea.
Legislative department, since they are the policy-making body of our country, should already make a statement through maybe a joint resolution of both houses of House of Representatives and the Senate, to make our stand also on the policy that what policy are we going to pursue with regards to the West Philippine Sea. I go along with the position which has been maintained by Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio over this imbroglio, wherein we have to really go to the United Nations on this. We have to make a stand. We have to make a position here.
Despite the controversies between the Philippines and China, a big number of projects included in the Dutertenomics are entered into by both countries to help boost economic growth.
I think we have to give credit to the Duterte administration because if all of these projects are realized, then this will be the golden age of Philippine infrastructure, and this for sure this is going to boost our